Hi everybody, I'm Todd McKim and welcome to another edition of the Cal Sports Report on CalBears.com. This is a very busy week on campus. We'll talk about the National Champions Week and festivities later on in the program. Also the volleyball team back on the road this week. We'll hear from head coach Rich Feller, but we start first and foremost with football as the Bears travel to Southern California for the second consecutive week, a nationally ranked opponent on the road. And the Bears did a lot of good things in this game against USC. Vince D'Amato broke out of his kicking slump, knocked home 3 field goals. He wished those were all extra points and not field goals. And, of course, the Bears' defense did a lot of good things against USC early in the contest. But eventually the Trojans were able to prevail when the Bears were not able to take full advantage of their opportunities in the red zone. We talked to some of the players who were disappointed about that contest at USC, but they very much look forward to the home conference opener this week as they face the Arizona State Sun Devils.
They give up 12 points a game, and they play very hard. They're physical and very disciplined in what they're doing. They have a nice scheme. They have a good secondary. They run to the ball really well. They tackle, and they're able to get some pressure on the quarterback. And I think they have 8 interceptions so far. So they've been able to turn the football over. They're in the backfield a lot. They get a lot of tackles for loss, and so they play very hard. They have good players. They always have had very good athletes, and that hasn't changed.
We go against a lot of different teams, so you gotta prepare differently for Arizona State as you would for USC. So because of the style of offense they run, and they run a lot of trick plays, so you gotta be cautious with your eyes and just read your keys because you could give up a big play.
Because they do have some talent and they can run the ball, so you just can't focus on the pass game because Cameron Marshall's a good back and the quarterback's elusive.
They just run off speed, so they don't really care who's in the game. They kind of substitute as the game goes. They just try to get any receiver the ball.
This week now we're back to some of the read option stuff and some of the more spread attack. So they're just different styles. Of some of the teams we played early, and with the quarterback run and the pistol and, different things like that. And so, but now we're getting ready to get into a stretch of a lot of teams who run the spread.
So the Bears very excited to face ASU back at home for a very important contest, the conference home opener. The Bears have done very well against ASU over the years. They've won 4 consecutive games. A reminder, you'll be able to hear the entire game on the Cal IMG Sports Radio Network beginning at 12 o'clock with the Toyota Tundra Tailgate Show. Well, one of the guys that's going to have to play this well against a very, very potent ASU offense is Kendrick Payne, a young man in the middle who has done a lot of good things throughout his career. A very bright young man. Here's his story. The Bears have a mini pipeline to the state of Texas with 10 players listing the Longhorn State as their native region. Half of those reside in the Houston area, and Kendrick Payne was one of the first to cast his lot with Cal.
And I really didn't know much, but I seen the game. Cal versus Tennessee was my first time actually paying attention to Cal. I had seen them once when Marshawn was still here. They played Texas A&M. But I still didn't kind of know too much. But that Cal-Tennessee game when Deshaun Jackson just blew it up, it just made me fall in love. And then not only that did I see all that, and then I went and looked, and the academics were just as good as the play. So it was a no-brainer. Once I got the offer from here, I was here, I was coming.
The cultural difference between Houston and Berkeley is one thing, but Payne also had to adjust to a new defensive philosophy from a 4-3 to a 3-4.
As a player, just coming from Texas football, I feel like I've always had the instinct, and just coming out here, the coaches have really just helped me to build my game and just become a complete football player, not just somebody who's out there, running around, but somebody who actually knows the game and can tell you, look at a film and tell you what block this is. And once you reach that level where you can just look at something and know what block this is and know the technique to play it, it just makes you so much more of an all-around player and able to do so many things.
As a lineman, Payne is one of the unsung components of an 11-man attacking squad. Unless he commits a penalty or records a sack, there is a certain anonymity to his game. But the bumps and bruises accumulated during the season will tell you he is actively involved on each play.
it's a battle, you know, between these guys up front, but it's like little things will allow you to win or lose that battle, you know, and it's just like, it's every play, it's coming, and every play this guy across from you is coming off to knock you off the ball, and every play you got to stop him or knock him back. And, you know, other people, they might have a lot of contact on one play, but then on the next play, they don't even touch anybody, you know, so that's one thing about being different. You know, your intensity level has to be up consistently for like the play lasts for about 6 seconds. So for all game, those 6 seconds, you have to be completely in tune, you know, to make sure that this guy doesn't dominate you, because one little distraction or one time that your eyes are not on your keys, he's taking you back.
Payne has made a lot of big plays that go unnoticed during his 4-year career, but there is still one more item on the bucket list.
One of my best friends, Trevor, had a touchdown last year, Fresno State, and ever since then, you know, that's been in the back of my mind. I got to get in the end zone because I actually scored in high school, so I would like to get back there.
Joining me now is volleyball coach Rich Feller. Before we talk actually about the X's and O's and all that kind of stuff on the court, we want to congratulate your team for what it did in the classroom last semester. Just found out that your team had the #1 GPA. Congratulations.
Thanks. That's something to be really proud of for our team and for myself and our whole program, really. A 3.4 GPA for the year. And we're pretty proud that that's the highest GPA of any team at Cal for the last year. So it's the second year running for us doing that, and it means a lot. It shows the importance of the student athlete.
You know, and this is a competitive thing amongst the coaches and the student athletes too. I mean, we just saw Rich Corso, women's water polo coach, congratulating you, but also saying, you know, we're gaining on you, right?
They're right behind us, yeah. So we're hoping to keep the challenge alive and make them continue to work as we will.
All right, let's talk about volleyball. As we complete the first weekend of conference play, it's a symmetrical league as far as standings are concerned. 3 teams are 2-0, 3 teams are 0-2, and your Cal team is one of the 6 teams that's 1-1. I mean, I guess that's the way this conference is probably going to be this year, right?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. And there's some teams that are really, really good nationally this year, and some teams that can upset or beat just about anyone. And it's going to be that way the whole year. You know, last week the rival game down in LA was #1 versus #2, UCLA-USC, and USC came out on top of that. And Oregon is undefeated so far, beat USC right after USC had beaten UCLA. So it's a great conference once again, and anything can happen. I'm very happy to get a road win at Colorado. That's one of the toughest places to play on the road. And to go out there and play a single match, it's all on the line for one night, to come away with a win is great.
You had to bring Corey Johnson out of the bullpen, so to speak, for a 4th and the 5th set, and she made a difference.
Yeah, she really did. You know, it won't show up on any stat what she did for us. Lara Vukosevic was doing great offensively for us, had an unbelievable night offensively, and they could not stop her, but her blocking was not quite on. We brought Corey in, and it shored up the block. It changed the way the Colorado team was able to attack. It improved our defense, and it changed the face of the game in those last couple sets.
So the Bears get their first conference win of the year. Now you go on the road again down to the state of Arizona. 2 teams also in there in that pack, so to speak. What do you see this week down in the desert?
Well, we're going to see 2 different styles of play. Once again, we have Arizona State, which has kind of the fast offense, up-tempo, much like UCLA and Oregon and St. Mary's. And then we're going to see Arizona, which is a little more like us, a little higher ball, try to run the ball to the middles bunch, and then higher balls to the pins. But both very good teams, both very capable of high-level volleyball. We've never had it easy when we go to Arizona or Arizona State, so we're expecting nothing less than a top battle, and we're going to have to be good again, you know, on the road once again.
All right, well, good luck down in the state of Arizona. We'll talk to you next week.
All right, thanks. Looking forward to it.
All right, head coach Rich Feller as the Cal volleyball team heads back on the road. 4 straight conference games on the road to start the season. This is a fun week on campus because the Bears get to honor their national champions from a year ago, and most of those came from the pool as the men's and women's swimming and diving teams, for the 2nd year in a row, absolutely crushed the competition. With all its national success in 2011-12, the University of California Athletic Department is pleased to recognize its most recent class of NCAA champions during the school's 7th annual National Championship Week celebration, September 24th through the 29th. Last year, the Cal men's swimming and diving programs dominated the pool in repeat runs to the NCAA team titles. The Bears men's and women's swimmers also notched a pair of relay titles to help solidify their top standing at the NCAA meet, while the Cal men's gymnastics team featured another national champion on the pommel horse. Overall, Golden Bear student athletes won 10 individual NCAA crowns in 2011-12, more individual national titles than any other year in school history. Since Cal began formally honoring its national champions in 2006 with a week-long celebration, the Bears have brought home 47 individual national crowns and 40 national team titles, including relays, crews, and tennis doubles titles. In 2011-12, Cal was simply spectacular at the NCAA swimming and diving championships. At the women's meet in Auburn, Alabama, the Bears featured individual titles from Caitlin Leverins in the 200 individual medley and 200 breaststroke, Sarah Isakovich in the 100 butterfly, Leif Jensen in the 50 freestyle, and Cindy Tran in the 100 backstroke, not to mention relay crowns in the 200 and 400 medley relays to give the Cal women's swimming and diving team its third national title in the last 4 years. Bears coach Terry McKeever was the 2012 NCAA coach of the meet as Cal outscored second-place Georgia 412.5 to 366. The men's swimming and diving team, led by NCAA coach of the meet Dave Durden, surprised the swimming world by winning its second straight national title in Federal Way, Washington. Cal topped second-place Texas 535.5 to 491, bolstered by titles in the 200 free and 400 medley relays, with NCAA crowns from junior Tom Shields in the 100 butterfly and 100 backstroke, sophomore Marcin Tarczynski in the 200 individual medley, and freshman Will Hamilton in the 200 butterfly. In addition, juniors Caitlin Leverins and Tom Shields were tabbed NCAA swimmers of the meet for their contributions both individually and on the relays. Leverins joined Tran, Jensen, and Colleen Foch in the national champion 200 medley relay and teamed up with Tran, Isakovich, and Catherine Rates on the title-winning 400 medley relay. Shields swam the butterfly leg of the Bears national champion 400 medley relay with backstroker Matthias Geidson, breaststroker Nolan Kuhn, and freestyler Tyler Messerschmidt. Cal men's swimmers also showcased their bright futures with 3 freshmen, Messerschmidt, Fabio Giamondi, and Seth Stubblefield, and a sophomore, Shane Fleming, producing a national title in the 200 free relay. The Bears' success in 2011-12 went beyond the pool. In April, at the NCAA Men's Gymnastics Championships in Norman, Oklahoma, Glenn Ishino perpetuated Cal's dominance in the pommel horse with the school's 4th national title since 2006 with a score of 15.600. Ishino is coached by Tim McNeil, the former Bears standout, who won 3 straight national pommel horse titles from 2006 through 2008. Since its first national championship in 1920, Cal has had at least one national champion in 77 of the last 92 years. In all, Golden Bear athletes have won 157 individual national titles beginning in 1922. Cal has claimed a total of 84 national team titles in 14 different sports. There has been one national champion every season since 1973. Now among the school's legends, Cal's 2011-12 national champions are part of the school's rich history, representing the country's best in both the classroom and the athletic arena. Should be a fun time at Memorial Stadium, not only during the game, but at halftime as well, as the national champions are honored. Well, that wraps it up for this week's show. We appreciate you joining us. Next week, we'll have some highlights from the National Championship Week, and of course, get you up to date with the Bears' hopefully victory over ASU and preview the all-important Joe Roth Memorial game against UCLA. I'm Todd McKim. Thanks for joining me today. We appreciate it. Have a great week, everybody.